This video is sponsored by Brilliant. In this video, I'm going to show you how to automate some boring Excel tasks using two GPTs. First, we're going to see that Data Analyst GPT, which is a GPT that is much better than the analysis that we have by default in GPT-4, and will help us make analysis and generate visualizations from our Excel files. And then I'm going to show you a second GPT, which is Excel GPT, that can generate complete formulas from scratch. Alright, let's get started. First, let's have a look at the Data Analyst GPT, which is a GPT that is overlooked because GPT-4 by default has an analysis that we can use. But this Data Analyst GPT claims to be much better than the default analysis that we have in GPT-4. And some of the difference I found was that this Data Analyst GPT, which by the way was created by OpenAI, was tailored to focus specifically on tasks like data analysis, statistics, and interpreting complex datasets. So it can handle queries related to data analysis more efficiently than the standard GPT-4 model. And also it has some custom instructions that are customized to prioritize certain type of analysis. In contrast, the analysis feature in GPT-4 is more generalist and is designed to handle a wide range of topics without the same level of specialization in any one area. That's why lately I've been using the Data Analyst GPT more than the analysis feature that is in GPT-4. Alright, now that this is clear, let's start by automating a boring task that we often have when working with Excel, which is making a quick report when we have an Excel file, a dataset. So here I have an Excel file that has sales data from a store, and we have different columns. We have row ID, order ID, ship date, order date, and different columns. And the columns that we're going to use for this analysis are in yellow. So the order date, the ship date, then the region, then the category and subcategory, and finally the sales, which should be in yellow too. And these are the columns that we're going to use for the quick analysis. And to generate a quick report from this Excel file, the only thing you have to do is drag and drop your Excel file. So here is the Excel file. It's actually a CSV file, and I'm going to leave it in the description of this video, and you have to drag and drop to the ChatGPT interface. So now I uploaded this file, and now you can simply type make a quick analysis and generate visualizations, and it will generate a quick report with some insights and visualizations. And here's a quick report that the Data Analyst GPT generated. First, it took a look at the first few rows to understand the Excel file that I had, and well, it read first the columns. It identified all the columns in this Excel file, and then it asked me what type of analysis or what type of report I wanted to make. Now you can go into detail and you can tell this Data Analyst GPT to generate some specific visualizations or to focus on some specific columns, or you can do it like me. Just you can tell to do a common analysis or a general analysis and make some visualizations. And this is what I asked this GPT to do, and it conducted some common analysis on this dataset, and it focused on three aspects. First, sales trends over time, then sales distribution by category and subcategory, and then sales by region. First, it used the order date and ship date columns to generate these sales trends over time. And this one looks good, but I have to be very honest, I'm not quite sure if this is correct, because here when I analyzed the code that it generated to get this visualization, I noticed that it threw some errors because there were some inconsistencies in the two columns that were used, order date and ship date. And if we have a look at these two columns that are here, you can see that there are some inconsistencies in the year of the dates, and maybe that's the reason why this might not be completely correct. But you can double check and you can guide this Data Analyst GPT to correct its mistakes if there is a mistake. So you have to double check. I have to say also that the second and third visualizations were great and were correct. I could verify that this was correct. So first we have the sale distribution by category and subcategory, and we can see that, for example, the category technology, which is in the dark green, was the category that sold more with phones. And finally, we have the sales by region, and we can see that the high sales are in the West with more than 700,000 in sales. And I could actually verify that this number is correct because I went here to the Excel file and I used this formula to calculate the sum in the West. And as you can see here, I used the sum if function to do this. And speaking of formulas, the second GPT that I'm about to show you it actually helped me create this formula. It generated this formula for me. And the second GPT is the Excel GPT, which is here. And the idea is similar. It has different modes. It has data analysis mode, function writing mode, and recognized data mode. The two more useful modes are the first two, data analysis and function writing. The data analysis mode is very similar to the data analyst GPT. And now what I want to show you, and which is more interesting that you cannot find on the data analyst GPT, is the function writing mode. And this is a very cool feature that you can use in this GPT. Here, I uploaded this CSV file or this Excel file, and I asked this Excel GPT to create a formula to get the total sales in the West. And if you only give this simple prompt, it's gonna analyze your data set and then it's gonna create a formula, but the formula is gonna be kind of generic. And the formula is not ready to copy and paste because the columns that are used in the formula are not the actual column headers that are here. For example, here we can see that sales is in the column header R. So what this GPT is going to do is going to tell you, let's say that sales is in column A or column B. And that's how the formula is going to be. You have to replace later the correct column header on the formula. That's what you get if you only type this simple prompt. But what I do is tell this Excel GPT where is each column. So here I tell this GPT, in the formulas, you must use the actual column headers. And then I list the columns from left to right. Here from the column A to the column R. So what I do is simply go here and just copy the columns from the first column to the last column, and then I paste it here on the message box. And with this, I complete my prompt and I press enter, and this Excel GPT generates the formula, the actual formula that you can just copy and paste to Excel. So as you can see here, first it analyzed my request and then it found the formula that it can use, in this case sum if, and then it identified the relevant columns, in this case the column region and the column sales, and then it gave me the formula that I can just copy and paste to Excel to sum the total sales for the West region. So here I can just copy this Excel formula and then I can paste it here. So here, this is what I got before and I copy and paste it, but I can do it again. So here I copy and paste and I got the same value. And this is 710,000 in sales, which is very close to the number we've seen before in the visualization that the data analyst GPT generated. And generating formulas with this GPT is as simple as that. You only need to upload the file, then specify your request, and then copy and paste the column names. Now for this example, I gave a simple task, just create a simple formula, and this Excel GPT generated the right formula. But sometimes when you try to create a more complex formula, it sometimes struggles to create the right formula. Sometimes it gives you a formula that it doesn't work or it needs just some tweaks. And this is not exclusive to the Excel GPT, also that data analyst GPT might give you some inaccurate visualizations because of some inconsistencies in the dataset. And if you want to identify these mistakes that these GPTs make and you want also to guide them to correct their mistakes, what I recommend you to do is to improve your analytical thinking. And that's something you can do with today's sponsor, Brilliant.org. Brilliant is where you learn by doing, with thousands of interactive lessons in math, data analysis, programming, and AI. Brilliant's lessons are filled with hands-on problem solving that lets you play with concepts, which is proven to be 6 times more effective than just watching videos. I love Brilliant's interactive exercises because they help me think rather than memorizing concepts, which is important to develop your analytical thinking. With Brilliant, you can build a solid foundation in data analysis as you learn to visualize and work with real datasets, and no coding skills are required. You'll learn to choose the right visualization so you can understand and communicate data effectively, and learn to filter, group, and manipulate datasets in order to turn raw data into insights you can use to make decisions. To try everything Brilliant has to offer free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/thepiecoach or click on the link in the description. You'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription. Thanks to Brilliant for sponsoring this video, and now let's go back to the video. Alright, and these are the two GPTs that I recommend you to use to automate your boring Excel tasks. If you have any other GPT that you find useful to automate some Excel tasks or some data analysis, let me know in the comment section. I'll see you on the next video.